This video is sponsored by Skillshare, the online learning community where there are thousands of classes for anyone who loves learning and wants to explore their creativity and learn new skills. And in fact, I've been a longtime user of Skillshare since way before they reached out for this sponsorship, and a lot of the skills that I used for this YouTube channel every single day I learned on Skillshare. And one of my favorite classes has to be this one by the man himself, MKBHD, on YouTube Success, where he goes through step by step on how he produces a YouTube video from start to finish. And of course, it's not just for people trying to become YouTubers. There are thousands of courses on here with everything from mastering productivity with Thomas Frank to the basics of singing with Gabriel. So whether you're interested in making a career pivot or trying to level up in your current role, Skillshare has got you covered. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, the first 1,000 people to hit that link in my description box below are going to get their first month of Skillshare free. Seriously guys, check them out. Thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. What is going on guys, Jesse here. So today we're revisiting one of my favorite categories, the wireless Bluetooth earbud. And as you guys know, pretty much ever since they came out, the Airpods Pro have been my go-to daily driver earbuds. And even though they don't have the best sound or battery life or any of that, they do all of that stuff well enough while excelling in some convenience categories that make these just fit better into my life than any other earbud I've tried to this day. Well, now we've got a new entrant into the premium wireless noise cancelling headphone category, the Sennheiser Momentum True Wireless 3s. And in this video, we're going to be comparing these two earbuds to each other to see which one might be the better fit for you. So let's start this off by talking about the cases, because I more or less see true wireless earbuds as being convenience items, and how the cases are designed and how you carry them around is going to play a big role in how convenient these are to use in your everyday life. So first and foremost, let's talk about the size. So with the AirPods Pro case, I almost see these as kind of the gold standard in earbud case size, because they just fit really well into a pocket, and it's to the point that I don't even really need to think about whether or not I want to bring them. If there's like any remote chance that I might want a pair of earbuds with me, then I can just throw it in a pocket and not even think about it. And generally, when I'm looking for a new pair of earbuds to be my daily drivers, I want them to be this size or smaller. Now with the Sennheisers, you can see that they're definitely not. You can see that it's a pretty large case, and just compared to the AirPods Pro, you can see they have about the same like footprint, but it's almost twice as thick. And what happens is you put these in your pocket and they'll fit in your pocket, like you can take them with you physically, but they're just going to create a very uncomfortable and noticeable bulge in your pockets that I am not a big fan of. The Sennheisers also kind of have this fabric finish on it that I'm not the biggest fan of, just because it causes a lot of extra friction when you're sliding it in and out of a pocket, and it just kind of adds to that whole inconvenience of using this. And also, I just gotta say that the sound that the Sennheiser's case makes when you open and close it is just really weak. Like, and it feels a lot more hollow than the AirPods Pro case as well. Like that, this is just so much more satisfying. One redeeming quality of the Sennheiser's case though has to be the USB-C port as opposed to Lightning on the AirPods Pro case, which I will never not be mad about. They do also both have wireless charging, which is good, and in terms of battery life, these Sennheisers do a lot better than the AirPods Pro as well, with 7 hours in the buds themselves with another 3 more charges in the case, and quick charge of 1.5 hours of playtime with a 10-minute charge. While with the AirPods Pro, we've got 4.5 hours in the buds with another 4-ish charges in the case, and quick charge of 1 hour of playtime with a 5-minute charge. Now moving on to the comfort and fit of the buds, the AirPods Pro I think to me are a little bit more comfortable in my ears. Just because, well, I really like how a lot of the mass of the earbud actually sits outside of your ear in the stem portion, so that the actual bud portion can be smaller. And I don't know, I guess I just like the feeling of having less bud in my ear, if that makes sense. Now, one of the things that I kind of take for granted with the AirPods Pro, and I remember every time I switch to something else, is the ventilation ports on here. So these use like the silicone tip design that's very common in other earbuds, and the Sennheisers use it as well. But one of the downsides of this design is that they kind of cause pressure when you put them in, because you're essentially just forming a seal in your eardrum. Now, the AirPods Pro have these vents on the side that allow some of that pressure to be relieved, and it really does make a difference when you're wearing them and make it feel a lot less invasive, I guess. Now the Sennheisers I actually did find surprisingly comfortable, because I usually don't like these kind of just big earbud designs where it's just one big piece with the tip sticking out of it. But just the way that they shaped it, it actually fit my ears very well, and I was able to keep these in for a surprisingly long amount of time. The fit also did not really inspire any confidence in me. Like, I did work out with them and they did stay in, but it just felt like I had to fiddle with them a lot. They do also come with these sort of secure fit wing type things, and honestly I'm not really sure how much they actually did, but I would say overall, fit and comfort wise, the AirPods Pro worked a lot better for my ears, but I think both of them were still pretty good. Now moving on to some of the features, these both have media controls on the buds, and the AirPods Pro, these are still my favorite media controls on any earbud I've tried, mainly because it's almost impossible to accidentally activate them. So basically, to use them, you just squeeze the stem like this, and then you do it either once or twice or 3 times to play, pause, skip, and reverse. And because you have to put pressure on both sides, not just one, it makes it almost impossible to accidentally use them, which I really like. While on the Sennheisers, we've got this touchpad on the side of the earbud, and if you've seen any of my other comparisons, you know I really don't like this implementation of media controls, because it's just really easy to accidentally press, and every time I fiddled with these in my ears, I was pausing my music, which I found really annoying. And the other thing I don't like about these is that every time you actually do want to use them, it just feels like someone's pounding a bass drum in your ear every time you tap, and it's really unpleasant. And in terms of active noise cancellation, the AirPods Pro are definitely a little bit better, but it is pretty close. Now in transparency mode, the AirPods Pro are a lot better though. They just sound a lot more clear and natural and true to life than the Sennheisers do. Like, the Sennheisers, they work, but it kind of sounds like you're listening to somebody through a wall rather than being in the same room with them. And lastly, as far as features go, these Sennheisers do have an app that you can download that lets you control a couple of things about the earbuds, like an EQ that is just a simple like bass, mids, and treble adjustment, which I'm a big fan of, and also turning transparency mode on and off, and also being able to customize the touch controls, which is pretty nice. The AirPods Pro also do have some features baked into iOS, which is nice, but in terms of customization, you get pretty much nothing. And one of the main features that the AirPods Pro do have that the Sennheisers don't is going to be spatial audio, which is really great for TV shows and movies for just being immersed in that. But for music, I think it's not really that good, just because I feel like most music is not really mastered for it. But yeah, it is there, and it's really nice if you really like to watch a lot of movies and TV shows. And last thing before we talk about the sound, let's hear how these mics sound. Alright, and here is the mic test for the AirPods Pro. The audio you're hearing is coming from the mics on the earbuds, and yeah, this is how they sound. A lot of people seem to really like the mics on the AirPods Pro, and yeah, this is how they sound. Okay, and now the audio you're hearing is coming from the Sennheiser Momentum True Wireless 3s. Hopefully they sound pretty good. Let me know how they compare to the AirPods Pro. Okay, and now last but not least, let's talk about the sound. So I don't think the AirPods Pro sound as bad as a lot of people make them out to be, but they definitely don't sound as good as the Sennheisers. The Sennheisers just overall have a much fuller sound throughout the entire range, especially in the low end. Now the AirPods Pro I think are a little bit more forward in the mids, so I think some could argue that the clarity in the vocals is a little bit better on the AirPods Pro, but the highs are also a lot more shrill and harsh than the Sennheisers, and listening to them back to back, the difference was pretty apparent. But overall, no surprise here, Sennheiser, they're known for their sound, and these sound very good. Okay, at the end of the day though, which one of these should you get? And I think they're both really good options, but for me, the Sennheiser's case is just a little bit too big, and for me, that's kind of a deal breaker, because if I'm not going to be carrying them with me, it doesn't matter how good they sound if they're just sitting at home. And I think the AirPods Pro sound good enough that I'm willing to deal with it to get the smaller case size. But if you don't care about carrying around a slightly bigger case, then yeah, go ahead. The Sennheisers sound a lot better. They are very comfortable as well, and I really do genuinely like these. So yeah, those are my thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Like if you liked it, sub if you loved it, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.